Now, bringing you the very best in New Hampshire-based local music on IPMNation.com and 100.1 The Planet, this is Local Outbreak. Hey everybody, welcome to this week's edition of Local Outbreak on IPM Nation and 100.1 The Planet. Matt Connerton from IPMNation.com here with you. And of course, every week we bring you some great homegrown talent, as we say, from the Granite State. And this week we have a full-length interview. Our friend DJ Reklss, who has been on the show before, Manchester's own DJ Reklss, he recently went on a big national tour. And he came into the studio and sat down and talked to us for an extended length of time about the whole thing. And it's a pretty interesting discussion. Of course, touring, especially when it's your first one and you're not making a ton of money. It's not all the glitz and glamour that people necessarily think that it is or might make it out to be. And he's pretty honest about all of it. And but it was a fascinating discussion. So fresh back from his tour, we're going to go ahead and dive right in. This is my recent conversation with Manchester, New Hampshire's own DJ Reklss.
He'll be wrapping up, I believe, at 9, and something else is happening at 9, right across, sort of diagonally across the street here, isn't it?
Yeah, you can call it, is it really diagonal, though? It's right up the street.
Well, it's sort of like you would walk. You wouldn't.
You walk
up
the street.
We'll call.
You walk up the street. We'll call it that.
Right. You couldn't literally walk diagonally because you'd be walking into traffic, and that's a great point that you raised, and I'm glad that you did because I don't want to be responsible for anyone walking into traffic. That would be terrible.
Why'd you get hit by a car? Matt Connerton told me to walk in the street.
I mean, unless it's somebody like the jealous one, I don't want to be responsible for anyone walking into traffic. Yes. So what's going on tonight?
I'm back at 603.
Yes.
I can't wait. I'm excited. It's been a long month, and I'm excited to be home.
Yes, your homecoming show.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Very good. Now, who else is on the show tonight with you?
Me and Sean White.
Okay.
But I think it's just me and Sean tonight.
It's funny. Whenever I hear you mention Sean White, I think of the
snowboarder.
Yeah.
I know that's
obviously a different Sean White.
It's spelt different too, but I still don't get why he went with that name because it's his real name, but
right.
You'd think he'd come up with a stage name that wouldn't every time he gets looked up on Google comes up with some redhead snowboarder, dude.
That is a problem. Maybe DJ Sean White.
It used to be I'm probably not supposed to say this, but it's kind of public information too.
Yeah.
His DJ name back when he was in my age used to be DJ Danger.
Oh.
And then he changed it to Sean White.
Oh, DJ Danger is a cool name.
Yeah, it was cool.
Somebody else have it, maybe?
I don't know. I've never really asked him. I know he releases music under a different name, too. But, I don't know if I'm supposed to, bring out that name yet. I don't know what he's doing with it. But I know he's releasing music under that, too. And he's doing more, top-line stuff for EDM producing.
So,
right now.
Yeah, very cool. So tonight, you guys will be there at the 603, and does that start at 9?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Yep, so plenty of live music tonight. There's Faith and Band is going to be at the Shaskeen. Faith was here a couple days ago on the show, along with Dank Sinatra. They're playing down there tonight.
I love them.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I've known them since I was doing the open mics in Manchester, just DJ.
Which ones?
Guitar.
Faith and Band?
Yeah. I think they performed, or I know Faith came up and performed at the open mic I used to do with Brian Moore at Stark's Brewery.
Yeah.
That was years ago. That was before COVID.
Yeah.
I can't believe I said years ago when it was just what? It was 4 years ago now.
Yeah, I know. But it's a weird thing though, because you said before COVID, and I think that's
pre-COVID.
That's for a lot of people. No, for real. You've got BC and AD.
I was gonna say now we need to
like,
call it PC.
There's right.
Pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID and after COVID, AC, maybe something like that. Although, COVID is still with us, but we've got it pretty well under control at
Now
this
it's
point.
monkeypox.
For now, I know monkeypox. Yeah, but so she used to play the open mics there.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
And then like after like when everything was starting to slowly open up, I kept seeing her more and more, and I was like, I like she has that voice where it just grabs you, and you're like, whoa.
Oh yeah.
You wouldn't expect that from her.
Yeah. We're going to have her back on at some point and she'll play live for us. But yeah, she just came in for an interview. She's got a lot going on in her personal life as well as professionally, but
She's building a bus.
yes. Yeah.
She's
talked
building
about
a bus.
that.
Like,
yeah.
huh?
Yeah. We talked about that. Yeah. Well, I first learned about the bus. So, a few months ago, I love saying his full name, Alfredo Enrique Benavides.
I love Fredo, man.
Fredo's great, yeah. So he was on the show a few months ago, and of course, in addition to Dank Sinatra, he plays bass in the Faith Ann Band. So he's doing double duty tonight at the Shaskeen. But yeah, he was telling me about that. She's building a bus, and I guess now, because I asked her about it on Wednesday when she was here, and apparently now the bus is almost done. And she's actually been using it, but she's still got to do something to the ceiling, some kind of upholstery or something, but or whatever you call it. But yeah, that's amazing. That is amazing. And then, and of course, Fredo's name came up in that conversation. And then the very next day, I happened to run into Fredo at 7-Eleven. I was like, hey, we were talking about you yesterday.
I will say, Fredo, when I got into DJing, even before DJing, like, he was so supportive of me as a photographer. And then getting into DJing, he's like, you kill it. I'm like, man.
Yeah.
But like everybody, it's crazy because like, the group of people I used to hang out with and I used to do music with, like Fredo, Faith, the Graniteers, Johnny Friday, like they're all, after COVID, like they, in a way, got a lot better and had a lot of crazy good opportunities.
Yeah. Well, I think during COVID.
The only band I'm afraid to see go, unfortunately, Married Iguana.
Yeah,
I heard that and I was like, yo.
I saw Brett Higgins had posted something about that Brett. A while ago. Yeah, Brett's been on the show. Yeah, really nice guy.
In a way, I take credit for that band in a way because I think they all met it.
Look at you.
I say this loosely. You're like
Easy G taking credit for all of Amanda McCarthy's success.
I say this loosely because before COVID, I think they all met at the open mic, and I could be completely wrong, and I could sound real stupid, but I do think they all met, or the majority of those guys met at the open mic.
Oh well.
As much as I don't like the guy that ran that open mic now, that thing opened up so many doors for me. It's crazy.
Oh well, that's cool. Yeah. So are they done? They're not reforming without Brett. They're done?
I don't know what's going on. I know Ian, their bassist. He does a lot of different things, and he's in a lot of different bands right now.
Yeah.
I just saw him right before I left, actually, with Lee Ross right up the street at 603. He was doing like I don't know if you know who Lee Ross is.
No, I'm not familiar with Lee Ross.
Oh, this guy, he is a technology genius. He's a music genius in my opinion. He plays saxophone while playing piano, while looping drums.
Wow.
All at the same time.
Oh, no kidding.
And it's like, how do you do this? Like, in my head, it's hard for me to even DJ and loop things. Like, what is this? And he's actually, I remember when I first started DJing at 603 and I was like just starting, he came in and went back to back with us. Yeah. With two DJs on a saxophone.
Oh, wow.
I was like, dude, what?
That's pretty cool. I mean, I've seen guitar players do that.
I had a drummer do it the other day, actually.
Yeah.
In Arizona. In Phoenix.
Yeah.
Because one of the openers had a DJ, and while I was obviously the headliner's DJ, the opener brought his own DJ, so we went back to back for a little bit while they were sound checking the drums, and next thing you know, the drummer's just going off too, so it's just three of us just going back to back, and it was just like, I was getting screamed at by my manager, but I'm like, I low key don't care.
Yeah,
like have fun.
Yeah, if you're having fun, and
I'm like,
and
the run of show we're a little behind now, but it's cool.
Yeah,
it's cool. Who cares? People are gonna stay.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, our friend Easy G is in the chat room, and he says, "Always remember, DJ Reklss, who promoted you first?
Of course,
Easy G." And he says, "I'm very proud of you." And there's a balloon emoji or icon or whatever.
Hell yeah, the balloon emoji.
Yes,
it means the world.
It must. He must think it's your unbirthday.
It is my own birthday.
Yeah,
Every day is my own birthday.
Yes.
Come on.
And Eric Street is asking, did they leave you hot dogs? No, they did not.
No, they did not. I feel severely disrespected for that.
Did you? Yeah, you saw.
I've been eating 7-Eleven Torquitos for the past month.
You saw the. This had to be while you were on tour. It seems like it just happened that day that I put a pic on Facebook. I came in and there was a box of donuts, and I opened the box of donuts, and there's a couple of donuts and a hot dog.
I saw that.
Gonzo had brought in for Peter. No mustard. There's a hot dog in the and I had to throw. You know, usually if there's donuts, I'll come in. I'll be like, ooh,
he's
donuts.
coming clean, guys.
But I couldn't. I could not. Just the hot dog having been in the same box with the donuts, it really freaked me out. What's that?
You couldn't eat any of them?
No. I immediately put it all in the trash. I could not eat those donuts knowing that hot dog had been, it really freaked me out. I was like, this isn't natural. This isn't normal. I was, I didn't know what to do. I had to take a picture of it to document it because I thought no one will believe me. If I tell people that I opened up a Dunkin' Donuts box and there was a couple of donuts and a hot dog with no mustard, no one's going to believe me. They're going to say, Matt, you've been taking mushrooms or something or whatever. And I would say, no, it happened. I should have taken a picture.
I've got stories about mushrooms actually.
Yeah,
from tour.
Oh,
can I say them? It's nothing bad. It's nothing bad. I didn't.
Yeah, I guess.
All right. So we're in I think it was Denver. We're in Denver after the show, right?
Yeah.
This guy comes up to us and goes, do you guys want to buy some magic mushrooms? So I keep walking. I'm like, yeah, no. Next thing you know, I turn around. One of the guys in my crew is like, give me your best sales pitch and maybe I will. Oh. And the guy got so scientific and we sat there for 20 minutes just listening to the guy. My friend's like, you know, how much are they?
Yeah.
$20. Then never uses them, throws them in the trash. I'm like, why? Why'd you do that? Like, you just wasted $20.
But he respected that guy's hustle.
Yeah. Oh, I saw
Respect the hustle.
I saw a lot of weird things on tour.
I bet you did.
Especially New Orleans.
Yeah.
New Orleans, even though I consumed enough liquor to like probably kill a cow, it's fine. But like New Orleans they're a different breed down there.
I don't think cows drink.
I don't think so either, but you know, in my mind they do.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Fair enough.
I saw lizards down there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I saw people with I saw homeless people with chickens on their shoulders just chilling there.
Yeah.
You know,
waiting to be eaten, I guess.
No, they were like,
oh,
I won't say how it was written on the cardboard, but it said you can touch my chicken for a tip. But replace chicken with another word, and yeah, that's
fair enough.
And I was like, this place is weird. I don't want to be here no more. But it was cool. It was cool getting to see a live band or like live jazz band.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was so cool.
That is cool. You know, big band music, I don't like it in the sense that I would never listen to it on my own, but I've been in situations where I've gotten to hear it live, like when I was a kid and I'd spend the summers out in Chicago with my family. And live, it's really cool when you can actually, when you can feel it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like you feel it in your belly.
You feel the bass and you're like, whoa.
Yeah. So that's cool. By the way, Fredo in the chat says, waiting for the hottest DJ remix of the Clemento's Pizzeria jingle.
Fine, I'll make it. I'll get on it this weekend.
That'd be great. Midas did
EDM drop.
Well, DJ Midas did a remix of the Queen City Cabinetry spot, so maybe that would be
Midas
cool.
is just Midas can't do anything wrong when he remixes music, man.
Yep.
I've listened to this guy and I've been like, what goes on in his mind is just crazy. Nobody else thinks about it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Especially in like his mixes at night. It's like I couldn't go back to back with him because he intellectually, like, his music is just he puts like things together that you wouldn't think go together, and they just seamlessly go together.
Oh yeah. Midas is amazing. I miss having him around. He's down in Florida now.
I know he left us.
He did.
I only got to hang out with him once in his studio.
Oh, really?
I will say, as much as I was on tour this month, I spent a lot of time in the studio on our off days working on things. Like I told you,
good.
I've got a lot of stuff that's going to be coming out over the next months.
Yeah, good.
Like I was in Nashville, we went to the studio. Denver, we had 3 days off in Denver because we had a canceled show.
Oh, really?
And then LA, I spent the day out there after the show.
Yeah.
LA was cool. I was excited. They actually gave me my own DJ setup. I didn't have to use my gear, and it was cool to actually get to be able to rock on like CDJs because I haven't used those in forever.
No, what's that?
CDJs, like they're like $3,000 DJ setups compared to my 600. So
nice.
It was cool getting to use that and being in one of these clubs that a lot of these clubs too, like Nirvana played in one of them, and it was just like being able to play in these places where that had history.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Like what? I played the Grog Shop in Chicago. Mod Son's played there. I don't know if he's like deep in the rock scene now. Like he's with like Travis Barker. And, or punk rock, actually, I should say.
Yeah.
Like Nirvana and like a few other bands played there, and I was like, why am I here? Also, I at one point our booking agent, he's a character. He booked us at the Hard Rock Cafe in Pittsburgh, and I found myself thinking to myself, why am I playing Kanye West in a Hard Rock Cafe in Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
Like what is my life right now? I was like, I don't belong here, but it's cool.
Yeah.
Let's make the best of it.
Absolutely.
And it was my first time ever getting to see a green room too, and actually being able to chill out before a show and not have to do work.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah. Very good. Very good.
I did dislocate my shoulder though.
You did?
Yep, in LA.
How'd you do that?
So I jumped off the table because I was like, oh, it's the last show. I'm gonna crowd surf.
Yeah.
Speaker was probably about 4 feet away from me, and obviously when I jump, I get distance. And shoulder hits speaker. I come down. I fall right onto it.
Was this during your set?
This is during my set, so I get up, I walk I'm
Jesus.
walking back, I walk into the bathroom while the song's playing, and my manager's texting me, he's like, are you good, I'm like, just press play on the next track, it's already loaded. I pop my shoulder back in with the help of my friend,
really?
And I go back out there, and I play the set, and I look down, it's just bruised. You can kind of still see the bruise, but it's more of a sunburn too now, because LA, like, the sun is just beaming.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I have a mixture of a bruise and a sunburn. Yeah, on my arm right now.
Oh, God.
And it's not the first time I've dislocated my shoulder, so it's like...
I was going to say, it probably isn't, because obviously you know how to pop it back in.
Yeah, I was like, all right, let's do this. Just make it happen, please. Thank you. Luckily, the fireball helped a little bit with that, so... with the pain. So it didn't feel much, but I felt it.
Wow.
And I've learned not to trust nobody, because whenever I stage dive, nobody catches me.
Really?
A few people have. Most of the time, I've had to be quick on my feet and land.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Is that not a thing anymore? Catching people?
Usually it is.
Maybe it's maybe it's a COVID thing.
Maybe I'm just stage diving in the wrong venues.
Maybe. I don't know.
Because a few weeks before we were playing in Chicago, where was it? It was Cleveland or Chicago? I can't remember. WC Social.
Yeah.
And they had a barrier like 3 feet in front of the stage, so I had to clear that.
Yeah.
I jumped off to go talk to somebody, and I hit my head on the speakers.
Oh God, really?
I was like, why aren't these taped off?
Was that during your set?
No, it was before, thankfully.
Okay.
But I had an egg on my head for like the next 3 days. I was like, I hate this.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, I got to stop jumping. That's the problem here.
Are you sure you don't have a concussion?
No. I don't know, man.
Yeah. No blurred vision or memory loss, I assume?
Nope.
Okay, good.
Nope.
Jeez.
I remember everything from this tour.
Yeah, that's
Even though
good.
I realized days just went into each other at one point.
Oh, yeah.
Just like the car rides. I will say, them 5-hour, 10-hour car rides make 1 hour car rides feel like 10 minutes.
Yeah, no kidding.
When I got off the plane in Boston, I came back to Manchester, it felt like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like, now this is actually helpful.
This is Local Outbreak on IPM Nation and 100.1 The Planet. Matt Connerton here with you, and here is part 2 of my recent conversation with DJ Reklss.
And the vehicle, now, I think I asked you this on the phone, but I forget what you said. The vehicle that you all were traveling in, how many guys in the...
I think it was, there was 6 of us in a 12-passenger van, I think it was.
Oh, okay.
I think it was 12. And it was like one of those painter vans.
Yeah.
And it was just like, yeah, wouldn't recommend that, man.
No, but at least it was, because you always hear a story. Well, hell, I lived it at one point. You got a whole band of like 4 or 5 guys crammed into a little car with a trailer hitched to the back, and it's just in the summertime, it's just miserable. So
we didn't even have a trailer. We had a little light package we set up, and fog geysers and merch and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and obviously our luggage.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was crammed in there.
Yeah.
and of course I'm with 5 other guys, so not everybody's clean.
But
not everybody's organized.
But it was air conditioned, right?
Yeah, thankfully.
Yeah, that's
thankfully.
Good. That's good. Yeah, geez. What was the longest driving distance between shows? Do you think?
I'm not sure. I think it was 10. No.
10 hours?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I think that was from Colorado to like New Mexico, I think.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure. I can't remember, honestly. I know when we were driving through Kansas, we saw a wildfire.
Oh, really?
That was quite interesting. And the weather was weird. So I first realized it. We were in Indianapolis. We ended up canceling that show. It was I got quite the story. I'll come out with it when I can, but like it was a disaster.
I am awfully curious.
But it was the venue's fault for this. Don't play a show in a venue that's being remodeled. That's all I can say.
Is there a reason you have to withhold information?
Because I don't know how much I can say at the moment, and I also don't really want to burn
Understood.
burn bridges.
Understood. Yeah.
But like, anyway, so we were slated to drive to Nashville the next day, but I'm like, well, 2 of the guys are from Nashville, so obviously they want to get home. I just want to go to Nashville.
Yeah.
And figure stuff out. Oops.
That's why we're on a delay. It's all right.
I just want to figure stuff out. And well, you see, we're sitting there. I'm drinking, so I'm like, hey guys, why don't we just go to Nashville? Mostly everybody else is sober.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why don't we just go to Nashville? It's like a 5-hour drive. Everyone collectively agrees.
Mm-hmm.
So 11 o'clock at night, we hop in the van, we go to Nashville, and on our way to Nashville, starts downpouring on the highway, and obviously anything that's around you on the highway at like 3 a.m. in the morning is 18-wheelers.
Yeah.
So it's downpouring. Like imagine like you're trying to see into a fogged mirror in the bathroom when you're taking a shower. That's what it looked like driving. You couldn't see anything. You couldn't get rid of it. Obviously, it's downpouring.
That's always scary.
And the weather was just crazy.
Yeah.
Like we saw a tornado.
Really?
Yeah. We were in Colorado and we ended up driving to see it. And it was like, only me and my friends would just want to go see a tornado. And then I think it was from Colorado to Kansas. We saw the wildfire start and go up because of a lightning strike.
Oh, no kidding.
I was like, I put a video up on my Instagram at one point and I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And also, Colorado does not care about their roads. We hit the border of Colorado and Kansas, right?
Yeah.
Colorado, it felt like you're just driving over like hills. Just bumps.
Really?
Bumps.
Yeah.
As soon as we crossed over the line, you just see smooth road in Kansas. I'm like, how?
Wow.
I was like, wow.
You would think with all that budget surplus they've got from cannabis sales, they would use that money to fix their roads.
Not Colorado. Went to a Rockies game there, too.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And I also realized we think we have it bad with the homeless situation up here.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Oh, really?
Mm-mm.
It was...
This was bad. Like
in
Colorado.
In Denver or just in Colorado?
Denver? No, I think Sunset Boulevard was the worst for me in LA.
Oh, yeah. No doubt.
I think of all the places we were, I'd say it goes LA, Denver. I don't even think Nashville. No, I don't really. Nashville didn't really have a problem.
Yeah.
But it's like LA, Denver, and New Orleans.
Really?
New Orleans was pretty bad too.
Yeah.
But like Sunset Boulevard, like you would walk down that. I was walking to the store. Or no, I was walking to the Hollywood Walk of Fame actually.
Yeah.
And it just smelled so bad.
Yeah.
It smelled like human feces, and I was like, oh, wow. And it's like everywhere you looked, there was homeless people sleeping on the sidewalk, and it was like, wow.
Yeah.
I've been in a little bubble for the past few years where I've thought New Hampshire had it bad. No.
I wouldn't be, so I haven't seen any statistics or data on this specifically, at least not recently, but I would not be surprised if it was worse in California than any other state.
You know what I think it is also in California? Everybody moves out there with a dream, and they're not prepared.
Yeah, and if there's anywhere you got to be prepared, it's California because the housing there is more expensive than anywhere.
Yep. Tax too. The tax on stuff was crazy.
Yeah,
that's another thing. Like I didn't factor into my budget when I was leaving.
Yeah, because in New Hampshire, it's you take the tax
add up to $1 too. Like when you're on the road, like pennies add up to $1.
Oh yeah,
and it was like whoa.
Oh
okay.
yeah.
And I was like, I was even like, other people were paying me to DJ their sets if they were an opener and they didn't have, if they didn't have people to like DJ for them. And that really is what saved me, honestly.
Yeah.
And also I picked up a few gigs along the way too.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, Lancaster I ended up. So, if anybody's ever out in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, I really suggest going to Tellus 360. It's one of the best venues I've ever played in my life.
What's it called?
Tellus 360. It's that has a rooftop bar and that's 3 floors. Bottom floor that night, we were slated to do our show from, I think, 7 to 9:30. And after, I had to talk to the DJ because my gear was just not working that night. So the DJ that was on after me let me use his stuff. And then when he got there, he saw that like I had a crowd. Like even after the show, I was just DJing just to have fun. And next thing you know, I look up, there's about 300 people, and this room holds about 700.
Nice.
So next thing you know, he's like, you know what? I have a band coming on after you. All right, why don't you just go till like midnight? He's like, the vibe is EDM house music, and I was like, that's really my bread and butter when it comes down to it. And I look up at one point and there's like 700 people in this room.
Wow.
And I was like, whoa.
That's pretty cool.
I'm like, this is the 3rd stop of the tour and I'm already doing this. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
We even did a house party at one point. Because our first show got canceled due to a promoter getting COVID.
Oh.
That's what he says. He got COVID, but I think there was another thing going on.
Oh, really?
But we ended up just having to reschedule the show, and we're looking for a little DIY, little creative spaces, and we found one. And we're like, you know what? It's $50 to rent the room. It was a room probably about the size of this room.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? Let's just do it for free. I'll pay the $50. We'll make it free. It's a great way to mine fans and stuff like that. Get fans. And we packed that room full of like 40 people and 110 degrees.
Wow.
And we're handing out waters because we got waters from the venues we played.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I will say the best shows on this tour were the up close and rowdy ones. Like you could literally reach out and touch somebody from where I was DJing, and it felt great.
Oh yeah,
honestly.
That's very cool. By the way, Nancy Clayton is in the Facebook live chat. She says my niece's husband plays Tellus a lot. It's a great place. Oh, very cool.
Tellus is awesome.
And Alfredo Enrique Benavides, because I love saying his full name, Fredo is in the chat and says, I grew up, to your point, what we were talking about, California, he says, I grew up in California and there was always people who just got there and had no clue what they were doing. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, no. And you've always got to come out with a plan. That's why, I've broke the news. I am definitely moving to Nashville within the next year. But I have a plan before I do that to hit certain goals and be able to make money off social media and everything like that before I go. That way I have a passive income and I can focus on like DJing and stuff out there. Because I will tell you right now, I'm going to probably make a lot of people mad right now. DJs out here.
It's the right show for it.
Are very undercut. They are very underpaid. Like I go out to I got paid in Lancaster a lot more money than I get paid in New Hampshire to DJ.
No kidding.
And I heard DJs that are making like money out in Nashville, they're making like $500 a show.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why am I here? Like I love Manchester. I do. But I'm just like, it's not, I've in a way hit my ceiling, I feel. Like how many times can I like DJ to a club and just be like, oh, well, what's next? You know? Which I kind of ran into after the tour for a little bit or towards the end of the tour. I'm like, what's next? What do I do?
Right.
I'm like, I could hop into producing, and I really think that's a much better avenue for me.
Yeah, I'm really curious to, because you were telling me off air before the show, you've got some stuff that you've produced. I'm really curious.
I do play. I'm gonna be playing a lot of the stuff tonight that I've produced. If it's the vibe, it's more like EDM remixes of like top 40 songs that I've done.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I've got to figure out how I want to release those. I don't want to just throw them up on SoundCloud, but if I have to, I will.
Yeah.
But I want there to be like some type of like return for it.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Nancy Clayton says, referring to her niece's husband who plays Tellus, he has a couple of bands. One is AM FM Andy Mawat's Frequency Movement.
I think they're actually playing this weekend.
Oh, no kidding.
I believe. Let me look. Because Tellus is doing some type of festival where they're having like 30 bands on.
Oh.
And DJs.
Oh, okay.
Now I'm curious.
Yeah.
I'm going to follow up on that now.
And Easy G, we were talking earlier about Midas's remixes, how he remixed the Queen City Cabinetry commercial. And Easy G said, don't forget the Eggman remix.
Oh, yeah, that was an absolute banger. Billboard Top 100 easily.
Absolutely. Well, everyone loves the Eggman. Well, while you're looking that up, if you'd like to enter. Oh, you found it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I lied. They're not playing.
Oh, okay.
I thought they were.
Oh, all right. Well,
at least not that particular.
I'm sure they're playing somewhere, but
Probably.
yeah.
My goal at one point is if I ever, well, it's not if I ever, I will. If I when I do move out and I come back, I want to book a show at the Reklss Theater and then try to sell it out.
Yeah.
It's a big goal, but I think I could do it.
Yeah.
It's
absolutely.
I think it's a 300-person venue.
Sounds right.
Yeah, so it wouldn't be that hard. Well, it would be, but
couldn't say for sure.
That is one thing I have learned on this tour. Hard ticket sales are very hard.
Mm-hmm.
Tickets are very hard to sell, especially right now in this economy.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very tough one. And also, don't message me to get on the guest list. Don't message me to get on the guest list unless you're bringing 5 to 10 people.
My friend, I know the pain.
Dude, the amount of can I get on the guest list? Excuse me? No, not unless you're a promoter for me. And it was the most annoying thing. And then the people that would say they're coming the day of, right?
Yeah.
And then message me after the show. Yeah, I got into a car crash. I broke my ankle. Some of the I don't even it was just, how are all these excuses happening?
Well, you could have it worse. I mean, I don't know if you've watched any of the Jealous One's recent videos, but he was complaining about, because he does his show online, and he expects people to be very committed and dedicated to it. And he was complaining that there was this one woman who listened to the first 30 minutes of his show and then decided to go mow her lawn. So it could be worse. You could have people telling you, sorry, I'm not going to make it to the show tonight. I have to mow my lawn. So at least you don't have to suffer that kind of indignity. Because that would be really embarrassing.
I can just see how he reacted to that.
I mean, let me ask you this: if you, let's say you're DJing and you think it's going well, right? And you're doing these shows, but then there comes a day when someone who tells you they tell you that they can't make it because they have to mow their lawn. Would you at that point consider just giving it up and throwing in the towel and saying, maybe this isn't for me after all?
Yep, 100%.
Yeah. I mean, when something like that happens, that's the universe telling you give it up. Now, I don't think anything like that will ever happen to you. I think you're on a great path. But if you were, let's say you were doing a podcast that nobody cared about to begin with, and then one day,
story of my life.
And then one day somebody, well, you never really got yours.
No one really cares about my TikTok. It's fine. It's cool. It's all right.
But you're doing a podcast and nobody cares about it. And one day somebody shows some interest and then says, I had to mow my lawn. I mean, that's probably the universe saying, maybe
just not do a podcast no more, man.
Yeah, at that point it's time to hang it up. And I'm not one to discourage people. I like to encourage people. I'm a natural nurturer. I like to encourage people and say, yeah, go for it. But when that happens, it's probably time to give it up.
Time to go, man.
Time to go. Speaking of TikTok, though, it's funny. So did you already upload that to your TikTok, the video you recorded here?
Not yet, no. It's going to take a little bit of editing.
Because I didn't say anything about it because you were doing your thing and I was busy getting ready. But I could relate to what you were saying because you said something very specific in it. So you were talking about, what was it? Redliners aren't headliners.
Redliners are not headliners.
Yeah. And
if you're a DJ and you're redlining, practice your volume control, please.
Right. And you know what? I don't think it was something you said. I think it was the guy that there was somebody else's video that you played and then you were commenting on his video. And he said something about if you're in a bar and you're playing in a bar, you don't want to be so loud that the bartender can't hear the drink orders. And it was something I could really relate to because I used to run into that when, I used to promote a lot of local shows. And
warning, guys, you guys are about to hear me and Matt just go back and forth about this. So prepare yourselves.
Well, back when I would do shows at the Uptown Tavern, which is long gone, but it used to be right up the street here. And I would run into a problem there because, and sometimes it wasn't the bands, but it was the sound guy. And the sound guy was a good friend of mine. He and I were kind of like business partners. It was really my thing. The business was in my name, but he was sort of working for me and I'd give him, part of the money for the night. But, the bartenders would complain to me because I was the promoter because the music would be so loud they literally just couldn't hear the drink orders. And then plus it's miserable too if you're trying to order something and you have to yell into the bartender's ear. Or in any situation where you have to yell into somebody's ear. And then my sound guy, Dave, I would tell him, Dave, they're having a problem at the bar. And Dave could get a little prickly at times. I mean, he was like a brother to me. I love the guy. He lives down in Rhode Island now. I haven't seen him in a long time, but then he would get hostile. Like he would take it personally. If I said to him, Dave, they're complaining, they can't hear, it's too loud.
I can't explain how much I can relate to this.
Yeah. And then he'd get mad at me, and I'm like, dude, we're not going to be able to continue to do shows here if the bartenders tell the management that they're making money selling drinks. That's what they do. I mean, we gotta bring it down a little bit. But then he'd get all
some of these sound
mad.
guys that I worked with too on tour had such an ego, and I was just like, "Come on, man."
Yeah,
I'm like, we're all here to do the same thing. I know exactly what you're doing. You know exactly what I'm doing. I said I did sound too, so like, listen, I can explain.
Yeah,
and like there was so many problems I had with like where like at one point it was at a venue and my board was being weird, and I knew exactly what it was. He's like, oh, it's only coming out on one side. It's only coming out on the right side on my board, but it's coming out of both speakers. I said, that's because this board is center panned. I'm like, you're fine. You're not redlining on your board. I have plenty of headroom. Don't worry about it. He's like, no, we got to switch it. I said, dude, I've been through this so many times.
Yeah.
I know what's going on. Listen to me for 2 seconds. I know my equipment.
Yeah.
Just listen to me for 2 minutes. And he made a whole big deal of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, you know what? You do what you want to do. You want to give me a new board? I'll still roll with that. But it was so annoying, man.
Yeah.
Outbreak on IPM Nation and 100.1 The Planet. And now, part 3 of my recent interview with DJ Reklss.
Sound guys, though, have it tough sometimes.
They do, 100%.
Because I do have some sympathy because I've run sound at live shows at actually I used to do when Dave the sound guy I used to work with at the Uptown finally quit. I bought his PA and started doing it myself for a while. I was like,
I'll never forget when on tour one of the opening singers said, "Can I get more hi-hat in my wedge?" I was like, why do you need more hi-hat?
It's very specific.
Wouldn't you need more snare?
Very specific.
I was like, do you know what you're doing? Are you sure you know what you're doing? I'm a little worried. Oh, and a lot of these openers.
Was that able to be accommodated? Was that possible?
I don't know, man. I had to walk into the green room and die.
More hi-hat in his wedge.
I have videos of these openers where just like some of these openers were characters. Yeah. I had one guy who literally was laying on the ground singing with his shoes off at one point.
Yeah.
I had one kid, right? He was like, I think it was his first show. I really do. Yeah. And he was standing there awkwardly, right? And just like trying to bounce up and down, but it looked like he was thrusting his hips.
Yeah.
Okay. And then before the bass dropped, right, in the song, nobody was singing it.
Yeah.
He just stopped singing and yells, "Go nuts!" And it was just like, I'll show you the video. I wish I could play it here, but it was so awkward.
Yeah.
And some of these guys were so awkward, and their stage presence was just weird.
Yeah.
There was one guy, right? His rapping was so offbeat. I was like, I don't know what to do right now. I'm like, I wish I could just play and just kick these kids off at one point, but I'm like, it's disrespectful to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's
of
like,
course.
Then we had some like really good openers, like Will C from Boston.
Yeah.
I would promote this kid to my deathbed right now because like this kid has some good music, and he's younger than me.
Yeah.
And him and I were like basically responsible for selling out the Boston crowd. And this kid brought a lot of kids. And then shout out to Stephanie Slaby. She's from Manchester. She hopped on the bill 3 days before the show and then absolutely killed it in my opinion.
Wait, is she a DJ?
No, she is a musician.
Okay.
Out here.
Okay.
And she absolutely killed it. And I was like, for someone to just hop on 3 days before and bring a crowd like that, it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
Stephanie Slaby is her name?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not familiar with her. Huh.
She's from Boston. Not Boston, Manchester.
Okay.
She's my age, I think.
Oh.
In there. I've known her for years because she's friends with
We'll have to get her on the show.
Shiloh Moore. Shiloh Moore runs a clothing company out here.
Okay.
He was on the morning show, I believe. Isaiah or Shiloh, I can't remember.
I was going to say, that sounds familiar to me.
Yeah, I worked with them years ago when I was a photographer for their brand.
Oh.
And now everybody from that crew has just like expanded and done crazy good.
Oh,
And I'm
cool.
like, hell yeah.
Good.
It's awesome.
Good.
But like I said, there was a lot of openers that really did a good job. And then there was a few questionable ones that made me want to like...
Because I assume in every city there were local openers.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had one guy literally tell me to my face that he was the best rapper in this building.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. This kid's voice was absolutely horrendous.
Yeah.
I got a video of him saying he's the best rapper in this building.
Yeah.
And then I got a video of him performing, and I stitched them together, and I sent it to my friends in the group chat.
Yeah.
And everyone just started dying laughing. I'm like, well, damn, that didn't age well, did it?
But did anyone else in the building rap that night?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, practically the whole building.
I was going to say maybe he was the best rapper, but apparently not.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, not even. Fortunately, no, my friend. The egos of these openers too. It's just some of them are just like, whoa. Hey man,
Really?
chill out, dude. You
Really?
may be at the top of your game in your local scene, but when it comes down to it,
Yeah.
you try going on a DIY tour, and then see how many tickets you can sell.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
let me know.
Right. Huh.
It was just like, whoa.
Yeah. No, it sounds like it was a great experience, though.
Also, we had this conversation the other day, you and I, on the show. If you're an opener and you bring people and you don't stay in a network, like, don't ever expect me to work with you again.
Yeah.
Just don't.
Well, yeah, and it's like
I understand if you have a valid excuse. I do.
Yeah, no, a lot of people. That post that you made about it.
I got eaten alive.
Well, a lot of people brought up valid points. I mean, everyone's situation is different. You don't know if maybe somebody has a babysitter, they've got to go home and relieve, or whatever. There's many reasons why somebody might have to leave, but I did say though, when I was active as a promoter promoting live shows, I would just notice. I mean, I never held it against somebody if they had to leave, because like I said, you never know what somebody's situation is. If they got to go, maybe they got to get up super early for work, whatever. I understand it. That's cool. But while I certainly never held it against anybody, and I never would. If I did notice, say an opener who stayed, especially if they stayed for the whole thing, and was really going out of their way to talk to people and, and be supportive, I would notice that, and that would go a long way with me, and I would remember them, and I would remember, that's somebody who I want to work with as much as possible, because they're, they didn't just play their set and leave. They really went out of their way to be supportive of everybody.
Yeah, no.
And that goes a long way with me, and I guarantee you I'm not the only one who feels that way about it. So, like I said, I would never hold it against anybody. Everybody's got to do what they got to do. But I notice if somebody stays, I notice.
Yeah.
And
I had one guy actually. He stayed, but there's this guy in Austin, Texas. He was like totally ego driven, and he I feel bad because I'm trashing on like openers, but this guy didn't bring nobody, so I have no problem trashing on him because of his attitude too.
Yeah.
His ego is huge. So he does his show, right? I get off the decks, right? He goes, "Oh, you did pretty good, but I could do better." Blah blah blah. I was like,
God.
I said, you know what? Then anytime you want to go back to back right now, we can do that. I was like, first of all, you don't even know what I'm doing. Second of all, you're up next and you're late for your set. So do you really know what you're doing? Because you're not listening to the run a show or anything.
Wow.
And he's over here. He's like, "Oh, I've opened for Katy Perry, blah blah." I don't care who you've opened for. You're opening for my artist and me right now.
Yeah.
Do your job. Get up there. Stop trashing on my headliners and me, and do your job.
Wow.
And then after the show, he comes up to one of the headliners. He's like, "You did all right." I'm like, and my headliner's like, "Huh?" I was like, "What?"
Wow.
I was like, "Bro, you ran out of breath halfway through your set. Practice your cardio and then talk to me." Then tried to pick a fight with our merch guy.
Really?
Yeah, I almost got banned from this venue in Austin, Texas for this guy, bro.
Yeah?
Stepping on my banner and stuff like that. I was like,
Wow. No kidding.
I was like, bro.
Wow.
Yeah, he was really rude, but he was friends with the people in the venue, so like obviously they're gonna believe him over me.
I assume that's rare
crew.
Though. Most DJs are probably pretty humble, right?
It wasn't only me he was trashing on.
Interesting.
And like my tour manager had left the tour at that point because he had other things to do. So I was basically TMing like the run of show, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so it's just rude to like do that. I'm like, don't step above me.
Right.
I'm the manager here. I'm the run of show. Like I control the run of show with the venue, not you. You're an opener. You're not a promoter. You're an opener. You're a musician.
Yeah.
I understand if you want to push it back a few minutes, but don't try to push it back 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Like don't do that.
Yeah.
If your friends aren't here, that's on you and your friends, not me.
Right. Right.
I'm like, I'm paying you money off. Well, we're paying you money off of a ticket sale. Like, come on.
Well, to be fair, maybe his friends had to mow their lawns.
Probably.
Yeah.
Nobody came for this guy. He says, I've opened for Katy Perry, but I'm like, where's the crew that was there when you opened for Katy Perry? Because they ain't here.
Yeah.
And it was just like his music was so good too. I will say that his music was pretty good, but like the ego just really killed it.
Yeah.
It killed it. It killed him.
I have to say, though, for people who've never had any exposure to the music business, I do just want to say for the record, in my experience, like 99% of the people I've ever dealt with have been really humble and easy to work
me
with.
Too. Most of the people we did work with.
It's rare that you run into a musician who's kind of a D-bag. It's very, very rare. I mean, I've certainly experienced it, but it's rare. Most musicians are super cool.
Most of them were like over the tour, like, thank you so much. And
yeah.
It was cool too, because I got DJs, like, I still consider myself a newer DJ. Mm-hmm. But like, I had newer DJs that walked in, like, been DJing for 2 months, were DJing for these artists, and they'd sit there and watch me. And they would just like sit there and like fangirl over my mixing and stuff like that.
Oh, that's cool.
And it was like, it felt so good.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And I was like, damn.
That's awesome.
Like, I like this.
And you got a ton of great pics from the tour too.
My photographer
really cool.
did his job.
Oh yeah. Well, you had more than one, didn't you?
At one point, yes. Yeah. For a few shows we did.
Yeah.
But no, he also has a lot more footage that we're working on a documentary right now of the tour, because I was gonna focus on YouTube and stuff, but like I really didn't have time on tour. I really had I should have focused a lot more on TikTok. On filming TikToks, which is really my goal right now.
Yeah.
Is to figure out my niche on TikTok, and whether it's DJing, whether it's like funny like public pranks or something like that. But like, I don't know which way I want to take it right now, because I feel like with DJ TikTok, like you're very limited. You're very limited on the content you can do.
Well, how I'm curious about that. How does that work? Because obviously, so on TikTok, if you're DJing, how does that work with copyright and whatnot? I mean, I know YouTube just demonetizes you, but they'll leave it up.
I think it's sort of the same thing.
Okay.
I don't know, but really, like, also you got to think TikTok has like a lot of musicians on TikTok. I mean, a lot of musicians recently have got like viral on TikTok, and their music has gone pretty poppin'. Yeah.
By the way, Melanie is indignant in the chat room that someone stepped on your banner.
Why? What's indignant mean?
She feels for you. She's upset.
It was irritating. It was just like, don't do that. It's my banner, man.
She says, "Are you kidding me? Stepping on your banner? What the hell?"
I was okay with him yelling at the merch guy. I was fine with him yelling at the merch guy. But when he stepped on my banners, when I got a little irritated, I was like, you can yell at the merch guy all day. He didn't do his job all tour, so you don't yell at him all you want. But don't step on my banner, man.
I didn't realize. I don't think I've seen your banner.
It was the one that was in all those photos.
Oh,
it was me, Waves, and
I've just never
Danny's.
I just don't think I've ever actually physically seen it. I didn't realize you had a banner made.
Yeah. Oh. No, well, Waves did, and we kind of all just put money towards it.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. I see.
And it was just like, it was irritating to see that. And then he's like, I call him out on, he goes, how much you want? 50, 100, 200? I said, if you really want to go bank account for bank account right now, we can do this, but I'm pretty sure I'm just going to like make you look real dumb. But it's fine. It's cool.
This is Local Outbreak on IPM Nation and 100.1 The Planet. Matt Connerton here. And we're going to get to the final minute or so of our interview in a moment. But I just want to remind everybody, of course, that you can go to ipmnation.com/local outbreak for the full archive of the show, the whole 12 and a half years. Everything is there for you. It's all listed alphabetically. We've also been working backward and putting all the episodes up on YouTube as well, on the IPM Nation YouTube channel. So you can find them there as well if you'd like. But everything is there at ipmnation.com/local outbreak. Not only the full archive, but all of the contact info for the show, social media links, email info. You can also email us directly if you have something you'd like to submit, some music, or a suggestion for an interview, or you just want to reach out, submissions@ipmnation.com. That's the email address you can use, submissions@ipmnation.com. And please be sure to follow IPM Nation on all the social media links. And as always, thank you to everyone who continues to support and participate in this amazing New Hampshire music scene. And as always, thank you to 100.1 The Planet for continuing to be our amazing FM radio partner in this venture and supporting the music scene as well. And this is going to finish it up, kind of put a button on things, the last couple of minutes of our recent interview with DJ Reklss, just back from his big national tour. And here it is to close out this week's Local Outbreak.
Well, listen, it is 5 o'clock. So I know you have to go. You've got someone picking you up, correct?
Yep.
But before you go, please plug your show tonight. You got a big show tonight.
603 Bar and Grill tonight. I'm back home. It's the homecoming show. I do got a lot of parties planned that I'm going to be announcing next week.
Cool.
I'm excited to bring them back. A lot of college parties, basement parties. That's about it. Yeah, follow my TikTok, DJ Reklss, DJ Reklss. If you're on TikTok, I broke down. I made a Twitter, by the way. Same
you
thing.
did?
DJ Reklss.
I didn't know you were holding back on making a Twitter.
I was, because I really didn't want to. But you know what? Maybe I've had it, but I just haven't used it.
Yeah.
But maybe something will pop off on there.
I don't use Twitter as much as
I know Elon ended up not buying it, so
yeah, he
kind of broke my heart.
Well, unless he gets forced to buy it, but that's another story.
No.
It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing.
It's a disaster.
The young people say that, right? It's a whole thing. Is that true? Do you say that?
No, not at all. Not once.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, DJ Reklss, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And have a great show tonight.
Thank you. I'm excited to be back.
All right. Very good.